Hey Brian, how you doing? Let me just jump over here. Okay, just looking through your writing. Everything makes pretty good sense here. So I don't think there's anything here that specifically needs to be addressed. So let's go ahead and jump over. I want to take a look at the magazine ad first. Okay, I think it's really a good. It's very successful. It's very accessible. It's welcoming. It's minimal. I think it works out very well. A couple of comments. I would recommend you've got this big weight right. It's visual weight, a lot of visual weight. So I think centering the headline is a mistake because it's actually it's pushing more weight towards the right side of the composition. My recommendation is to reduce the size of the headline and left align it. Okay, you've got this left margin, beautiful left margin set up, but I think it's too close to the page margin. I would move it into about right here or so. Okay, so you have headline, reduce that. I don't even think you need to bring that up into two lines. Watch my, and if you do, that's great, but I think right now it's too large. By the way, this looks like, this doesn't look like Arial bold. It looks like Arial rounded or some version of Arial, but it's definitely not straight Arial bold. So you want to make sure you're using Arial bold. I say that because Arial, the typeface Arial doesn't have these rounded corners. So you want to check your type usage. Okay, so you have headline. Do you feel your stress stacking up? Then subhead. Come down to get your amethyst big. Come down to your. Then come on down to your amethyst bay getaway. Okay, that works. All right, and then indulge yourself. This right here, I would condense all of this into one paragraph. Okay, because right now there's just too much. There's too much going on. We've got headline, subhead, then boom, boom, boom. Instead of headline, subhead, and then right there, just all of the type located in one fell swoop, so to speak. The logo placement, I think it's too large. The logo is too large, and also I do not recommend placing a box behind a logo. Why? Boxes behind elements in design indicate let students love putting things in boxes, and it's kind of indicative of amateur design. And let me describe why. Typically, what happens if you put something in a box, you're trying to either draw attention to it or make it more visible. In graphic design, we don't use boxes to place things in because it creates a degree of separation from the composition, whereas what we're striving for is harmony, not separation. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you need to place a box to make the element more visible, consider replacing the background image instead of placing a box. Putting elements in boxes is one of the last resort. I mean, I do not recommend it ever. Okay, so how do we improve this, right? Okay, so I talked about the typography. And what I would do over here is I would reduce this. I would use reduce this, and I would just place it right here because right now it's too large. Then I would take the contact information and do one of two things. You're pretty busy down here and pretty busy over here, so it might be best to pull the type down after you reduce the size and span the top of the ad with the contact information. If you want to see some examples of that, just take a look at the course announcement. Those examples I posted way back in week 1 will show you that specific configuration. Okay, so let's go from the magazine ad to the banner ad. Take a look at the banner ad, and again, I think execution is good. There's some problems. I think there's too text heavy. Okay, there's just, you got to condense this. Right now, there's just too much here. Most people are looking on the web will not spend time reading this amount of text on a web banner. I mean, you got to make it short and sweet. So condense the headline, condense the subhead, condense the text um, for the promotional call to action. At that point, I would try to mirror the weight distribution of the magazine ad. So what I would do here is I would take this whole type configuration here, and I would move it over here, left align it, just like the magazine. Okay, and then so that'll leave your headline, your subhead, then your body copy, your call to action right there. Animate that. All right. What rocks are over here, and then you can take you can leave you can either place the flowers over here or right in front of the rocks over here. If you leave the rocks here and place the flower there, you'll take the logo and actually, I think it would be best to take the rocks, place them on this side, leave the lotus flower over here. Okay, then you take your rocks, and then right over the rocks, you can place the logo. Okay, and I think that pretty much covers everything I want to mention. I don't think that's the right logo to use. I would add color in the logo. So either that teal colored logo or the purple logo. Either this one or this one, I think is going to be your best. But try this one as well. I would stay away from the grayscale logos. Okay. Whoops, I closed the wrong window. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. Okay. So again, over here, this looks like your correct typeface. That looks like Arial Bold, but over here, you see how this one's rounded and this one's not. So you definitely want to establish some consistency there. And okay, that'll do it. The only thing left to do then is to try to find an appropriate spot for the contact information or the location. And that shouldn't be too difficult given the new recommended layout. Okay, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'd like to see those comments reflected in your final submission. That's coming up quickly here next week already. So if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. All right, great start. Thank you very much.